There's a musician that said, colonial mentality. They release you, they free you from slavery, but you can't free yourself. You have to free your mind. You have to set your standard of who you want to be and what you want to be. Don't let people dictate your standards for you.
Amen.
See, like that point said just now, we have a situation we don't understand that as parents or as people, when you have kids or when you have your life is not yours no more.
Amen.
There are things you have to understand that is what you put in. Is that what you're going to get out of life? Nobody, I've always told people, I was telling my wife an interesting story when I just came in this country maybe about 2 or 3 years, and I was going through some stuff. I have a cousin in New York that promised to send me money. I had a choice. My student visa was going to expire. I had to pay my school fees, I had to pay my car note. And I was already only like 3 months or something on my car note, so they were coming to get it. And this man kept promising me the money was going to be Western Union. And I went to the Western Union every day. And the money never came. And I called him and he never answered the phone. And one time I left a nasty message on his phone and he finally called me back. But still the money didn't come. I ended up paying my school fees and I lost my car. And the car was my home too. But at the time when I was sitting down, I actually cried, and that's the last time I cried about my situation.
All right. Amen.
I cried because I was so hurt because it was my cousin, and I knew what my parents did for me. But then it finally hit me. So I don't know what owe you nothing.
Amen.
The man don't owe you nothing.
Amen.
You just because you know him, you calling him, and you expect he owes you something. He don't owe you nothing. No, but you have to get out and fight for yourself.
Jesus.
And since that day, I never cried no more. And that was where all my challenges started. I started figuring out, okay, this is what I wanted to do. See, when I left Africa, my goal was to come here, go to law school, and go back home. But that just became, it wasn't going to happen. I have to face that reality. That it wasn't going to happen. See, I'm a little different in when I tell people about life. When you always tell a child that you could be whatever you want to be. Yeah, I believe if you work hard, you can do certain things. But I've always believed in telling people, whatever you become, be the best at it.
That's it.
Because there might be situations that might stop you from being what you want to be. You might be trying to be a surgeon and you broke your hand. That dream is there.
That's it.
So now, whatever you become, you have to be the best at it.
That's it. I like that.
Yeah, I tell everybody a lot of times, I have a window washing company. When I started washing windows, it wasn't about washing windows. It was about survival. I needed gas and I had to eat. When I was living up, I started doing it with a bucket and a stick, Flagler Street, downtown Miami. I needed to eat. I knew for sure by the end of the day I was going to make at least $30 or $40, and that was at least to buy gas. But today I know how far I've got it. With that window, how far I've built that job. I know how good that business has been to me.
Wow.
I know how much people have depended on me on that business. I remember my mom used to always tell us, "You my greatest investment." I never understood that. But every time when she called grumbling about money now, I understood what she was talking about. But then we see that she always told us that. But the bottom line is what I'm trying to get at is, even though I couldn't end up going to law school, I know a lot of friends that are lawyers now that I don't want to be like. But the bottom line is, I still ended up being somebody that I'm proud of. And the bottom line is that I say one of the highlights of my life, one of the happiest days of my life, is when the father, even though my father was who he was, one of the most popular men in this country, I probably saw him once every 5 years on TV, or when he come in town. I used to read a lot of his articles because I wanted to be close to him. That's why at 7 or 8, I was a very beautiful reader. Not because he taught me, but because I knew if I go get a newspaper, if I get a newspaper, I'm going to see my dad. I'm probably not going to see him. He was a good dad, in his own way. But I didn't have a relationship like that. But the bottom line is when I saw all this stuff, at that time, at an early age, I already made up my life. My mind, what my life wasn't going to be. I loved him. But there was one thing I made sure. I wasn't going to have a child out of wedlock.
Amen.
Not because I'm not saying, I'm not condemning anybody for doing that. I'm not saying that. But I'm trying to tell you how you set standards of what kind of motivates you not to do something. You have to find something to motivate you. You have to find something that's going to tell you, because of this, I can't do that. And those are the ways I started setting standards for myself. Say, you know what, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do certain things. But in spite of all what I'm saying, one of the highlights of my life was when I went to Nigeria a year before my dad died. And my dad, in tears, told me, in spite of me, you are the proudest son I have of all my children. I didn't understand it. It was one of the most painful things I ever had. And my dad in Africa, African men don't cry for nothing. Because no matter what, no matter how wrong they are, they're never going to accept the wrong. But I was so proud. And after he said that, and at that point I had not talked to him for 14 years. After he said that, every pain I had, every anger I had towards him just went out of me. Yeah. Because for him, we call him Ebenezer Williams, for him to say, I'm the proudest of all his sons, in spite of me, in spite of my abandonment of you. You'll still come in here standing. Like you say, every time I see you walk in my house, I feel drunk. I don't know how to explain it. There's something that happens inside my body that shakes, that deprives. That was the highlight of my life. So, like I tell everybody, no matter what your situation is, you got to aim high. You can never settle for where you find yourself.
Come on now.
You can never settle, there's no excuse. I know people that go to college, study all these years, get out of college, and guess what? They find out, whoa, this job ain't going to take me nowhere. And like I told the pastor the other day, I actually know somebody, this man went to medical school. He went to law school actually, and graduated and went to medical school.
Wow.
You know, I don't know what pushed him, but he graduated. But the bottom line is you can stop, when you find out this is not working, you have to try to get out of it.
Amen.
When you find out the situation is not, I can't settle for, no, listen, I tell everybody, I told my wife the other day, listen, I ain't going to be fighting for that for, I don't care what nobody says.
Okay.
That ain't going to happen.
Amen.
That's not going to happen. I'm going to die down, please, I gotta go, but I'm going to be working at it. There ain't no excuse. Ooh, I'm going to wake up in cold sweat. Don't think about, oh no. There are certain things. I was actually looking for a picture I wanted to print. I couldn't find it. I don't know why. People know my dad was this, whoever it was. And my mom, my wife will tell you, they lived in huge houses. I actually grew up in the ghetto with my great-grandmother. One of the worst slums where I come from. I'm talking about, every time I go through there, I can't believe how you walk over the living. But that's where I grew up. I'm just also interested about it. Every time I went and spent holidays with my mom or my dad, I couldn't wait to get back to the ghetto.
Wow.
Because even though I was so poor there, I never saw it.
Wow.
Because guess what? There was so much love.
Wow.
I didn't know we were poor. I really didn't know that place. I really didn't know. But one thing I do though, to motivate myself, I know you guys can't get my password, but everything I do, the address of that house is my password. I use the address of that house as my password because you got to remind me where I come from.
Amen.
That's where I come from.
Amen.
Because if I forget where I come from, guess what? You can't make excuses. Because every time I think about not going to work that day, and I think about, I gotta go. I gotta go because I can, I was telling the pastor, I was talking about this, I don't know why it's popping up in my head, I gotta tell you guys. When I was in this country and I was going through all these problems, I was an amputee.
Wow.
I had so many tickets, I didn't even know what ticket was no more. In fact, one time I went back to what's it called? The driver's license office, I thought I could get a driver's license and another name. I didn't know I had to keep using my name. I wanted to get a new one. Because there was no hope for that first one that I got. Then I found out the consequences of doing that. It's my story, so I ain't gonna tell you all the next time. But what was interesting was I had so much license, but I didn't care. When the police stopped me, I would cut them out. I was so quick because I was so angry.
Wow.
There was so much pain. Why did you stop me? Until when my student visa expired, and I knew I had to go home. But I couldn't go because I would rather die than go back to my mama. They tell her I ain't make it. That ain't gonna happen. Wow. But what was interesting was the police stopped me one day on 441, and he goes talk about, oh, he has an accent. Where do you come from? And he was a Spanish police. His accent was what that man. And I asked him, you have an accent. Where do you come from?
Oh, goodness.
And his partner just started laughing so hard. His partner was laughing at him. And after the argument, the next thing he said was, oh, when the partner found out I was from Nigeria, he said, oh, there are enough illegal aliens from Nigeria. Let's check him out. Whoa. My paper just expired. Sadly, I never said nothing about I was so... all behaviorists and everything that I pray that they just started out. I never knew how to pray that fast. But when they let me get out there, I started understanding there are certain things you can't do. I can't settle for this situation of not having a job, and all this, I can't settle for it. Because guess what? It's pushing me somewhere. And like I keep telling everybody, there's something that happens that we keep blaming everybody for our problems. We cannot be comfortable with failure.
Yes.
I think some people are so comfortable with failure.
Oh, come on.
It doesn't make sense to me. You see, failure is not an option.
That's right. That's it.
You have to have a mentality that failure is not an option. You can't. Fair? I mean, that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing that can happen. So when you say, well, oh, your child, you see your child brings grades home, and you know it's getting ahead. And for you that help is no big deal. Really?
It's a big deal.
I keep telling everybody, the first day your child steals a quarter, that's the day you know you have a problem.
Yes, that's it.
The first day a quarter comes missing on your table, that's the day you got a problem.
Yes.
Because the quarter that comes 250,000. It's a boy thief that become a man thief. That first day you got. See, people gotta understand one thing. I keep telling everybody: your child is not your friend.
That's it.
We keep on this. See, when your child grow up, it can become your friend. But at the time when you're raising your child, it's not your friend.
Amen.
You have a responsibility. The responsibility to make sure that where I fail, this child can't fail there.
Thank you, Lord.
That's the only thing. Listen, we can't control some of the things we did. I keep telling you that. See, I'll take your Dairy Queen after I take it. I'm sorry. Listen, I keep telling everybody. Growing up, right? See, my wife sends me so much, it's so difficult. But when I get up here, it's something else. See, when I was growing up, it was so easy for me. Every little child I see, because in Africa, the worst thing, if they shoot me, don't sound right. So I have to try to be, they can say, please, Pastor, you guys excuse me. See, in Africa, the worst thing they can call you is a bastard. In Africa, you see, in America, it's a common thing. In Africa, a bastard is the worst thing you can be. And you see, growing up, I didn't know that. Before you say anything to me, I'm quick to call you a bastard. As soon as you open your mouth, you bastard, that was my favorite password. Till I went and checked that word out in the dictionary. Why did I do that? I thought that I was the biggest bastard of them all. It was like they wrote my name right next to it. I'm like, whoa! That was the first day I knew there was more than one dictionary. Because I had to look for some more dictionary. That dictionary could not be right. And everything kept pointing to me. So since that day, because of the pain I felt, what I felt to myself, since that day as a child, I had to be maybe 12. I had made a personal decision. Now, I'm not saying I've not been lucky now. I'm not saying I've been a good boy. I'm not going to tell you that. But I've been telling you that has always been what I say I didn't want to repeat. But like I said, even if I do it, that just doesn't mean I have to make sure my child don't do it. I have to try to prepare my child the right way. Don't say, okay, because mama is living this life. No, there are some things you have to invest in your life. When I first came to America, I was living in a project on 47th Avenue on 182nd Street. And there's a lady, I would never forget her name. Her name was Missy. Can you say, can I say, those crackheads? Her name is Missy. Missy was on drugs. I mean, on drugs big time. On drugs big time. Every time you see Missy, she could hardly stand up. But I can tell you one thing that was so interesting about Missy. Missy got up every morning and she walked her kids to school.
Wow. No
matter how high she walked her kids to school. Missy had no lights in her apartment. She and her kids stay outside under the floor, the lights of the apartment to make sure they do their homework.
Wow.
Missy was always based out, but she realized that my children were going to get an education in spite of who I am.
Wow.
And she knew she had a problem. She knew the cause that was in her. She knew that. But she had the responsibility that, guess what? This is not going to happen to my child.
Amen.
Whatever you do in life, you have to find a purpose. Whatever situation you're going through in life, you have to find a purpose to get out of it. Even when you're in pain at your lowest time, and you feel you can't go on, you have to find a purpose. Say, this thing that will make. See, this probably wasn't part of my sermon, but let me. It just popped up in my head. I've always believed I was the strongest man you can think about. Nothing after maybe what I went through in my early years in America. I didn't believe nothing could shake me. But the reality is, last year was the worst year of my life. Last year was so bad for me that I honestly, for the first time, started believing it was okay to die. Because I was in that much pain. At times, it got so bad that I couldn't breathe. I'll be driving to work, I have to pull over because I can't breathe. And later on, I found out when I went to the doctor that I was having an anxiety attack. And it hit me, a couple of things happened. A couple of people, then it hit me. One day I was driving on 441 on Sunrise. And it hit me and I asked myself a question. I have to find a purpose. And what was that purpose? What hit me was, if something happened to me now, if I die of this thing that the doctor already warned me I have to take control of, what will happen to my wife? And I thought about that, and I thought about that, and I thought about that, and she had to be my purpose. She had to be my purpose. I had to get rid of these things, and I had to be strong for her. This can't happen.
Amen.
And even though I go through that, I still have my moments. The second moment I had that had to be my purpose was one Saturday I was coming from the soccer field. And I had my godson with me. And when we left the soccer field, he was so excited. He talked all the way from the soccer field to the house. I almost turned around like, wait. But he was so happy. He told me how many goals he scored, how many. And when I was getting close to the house, he hit me. This boy has got to be my purpose. Nothing can happen to me because of this child. Because of how much love this boy had for me. Because I understood what the situation was. He's a kid that lost his dad at one. So he looked so much to me like that. And the love, I had to live on it. I no way. So right there, I found a purpose. I found a reason why I got to do something. When people look at you and they talk about how much I love him, people don't understand. He's one of my purpose. I can't die. At least not like this. Right. If I die, it ain't going to be my fault. So, You have to find a purpose to get out of the situation. You can't sit down there and keep expecting somebody to come. Nobody owes you nothing. You can then tell some people, see the first time I started heading church was when I first came to America. Before they took my car, when I was telling them I need a car payment. And I go to church every week. So I started the church to pay my car. I mean, I go there every week. Why wouldn't I pay? I mean, I didn't pay tithe, but I feel like they And I went to this church. It was it's called New Testament Baptist Church. It's on 826. So I went to the pastor, and I'm like, listen, I got a problem. I come to church every Sunday. They're going to take my car. I need $279. I never forget. So I need $200. And the pastor said they don't do that. See, I'm like, what do you mean they don't do that? And you can see me and the pastor arguing in the office because I didn't understand. He makes sense to me. You can't help me with my camera. And I never went back there. That was a bad church. Now I lost my car. I was mad at church for years. Till you get on the second stage, but I tell a lot of people, if you're a church where they don't know you, you're in the wrong church. Right. You know, I believe in churches, but I can keep telling everybody, we have to understand that nobody owes anything. You have to try, you have to fight for yourself. You see, the biggest problem we have right now, especially with our youth, is what I call addiction to laziness. Oh. See, we do not understand what it is called addiction to laziness. You see, there's an African proverb that says, he who does not cultivate his fields will die of hunger. See, when you have a farm, even when you have a farm in your backyard, you're considered a lazy man in Africa. The lazy people are the ones that have the farm in your backyard. You have to walk miles and miles to go to your farm. But the problem is true laziness. Like, hey, let's go to Ecclesiastes 10:18. I want you guys to see this. When you're there, let me know. It says, true laziness, the wrath of God. Because of idle hands, the house leaks. We have to understand, guys, that laziness, actually laziness, you see, when you are lazy in life, you are caught. At times we cause ourselves. We don't understand that nobody's going to give you nothing. We cannot be scared to face our situations. I see people keep going around. If you need me to stop, I'll stop. You ready? Okay. It says, I keep telling everybody, whatever you do in life, you have to work at it. You have to fight for yourself. If you're not willing to fight for yourself, then guess what? Ain't nothing going to come to you. Nothing's going to come to you. See, you see this basketball, who's the best basketball player in the world for most of you guys?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Huh? Okay. Oh, okay, Jordan then. Who's the best basketball player too?
Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant.
Okay, is it okay if I tell you guys that none of them are the best basketball players in the world? Would you believe me if I tell you that? No, you won't be. I'll tell you why. Most of the greatest basketball players or the greatest people in their art are people that never developed their talent.
Yeah. Wow.
There are people that never develop their talent. These people, if you don't watch LeBron James, I'm like, Michael Jordan did not make his varsity basketball team. He did not make it. But you see, when you want something, you can work for it.
Wow.
When you go to Carol City, there's a park in Carol City in one day North Street.
Yes.
Carol City Park. Yes. If you go there for 10 minutes and see some talents play basketball, you know these guys are not the greatest on TV.
Wow.
But there's a system you have to go through.
Wow.
to achieve what the project achieved. And the system is rigorous. There's no people that can stand it. The NBA only have 470 players. There's no people that can go through those difficult things. Do a way to make them pay the first year of college. Because it's not his grades, you're not good enough. So he has to work on his grades. So even though he has all this talent, he still has to work on his schoolwork. If he did not make his schoolwork, we probably wouldn't know who to away this today. He has to learn to fight for himself. I'll tell you a story about Dwayne. Dwayne's mother was a drug addict. She thinks herself be proper. So she was on drugs. Big time. And at times she goes, they don't know where she's at. She sleeps in abandoned buildings and all kind of crazy stuff. But she has to teach Dwayne, instead of her being this drug addict, she has to teach Dwayne how to fight for himself. At 10 years old, Dwayne never be going to basketball court to try to play. They never let him play because he's a kid. You want to play with grown men. Why shall you go sit down? So his mom kept making him go there to go fight for himself. But go keep asking for a game. And then let him in. Why did they do that? They surely put some moves on there that they never seen before. At that point, the mom just taught him how to fight for himself. She didn't go up there and say, oh, this is why you... That would you never my son play. No, that's it. That's how... Listen, that's how... And that's we are ignorant. We don't know we're ignorant. That's how the ignorant mother will handle it. I'm sorry. Oh, but I know you already tell my son he can play. So guess what? Tomorrow when you're not there to fight for your son, he will go through the same thing. No, you got to teach him to fight for himself when you're not there. I tell my wife an interesting story. In my backyard in Africa, my backyard was the only backyard that had a little room. So almost all the kids in the neighborhood used to play soccer in my backyard. And I was one of those kids my grandma wouldn't let me go to the next door neighbor. And there was this crazy kid. He was a crazy kid, yo. I called him, his name was Musibao. I mean, this kid would throw a rock at anybody. You see grown people walking down the street and he's rock.